Hello Taurus, welcome to your general reading for April 2017. This is officially the first time I'm doing a separate general reading. I'm doing a little different. I'm going to do a triple cross spread just because I feel like it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with Taurus. April 2017. Taurus, you are the lucky hosts of our Mercury retrograde this month. Going to be an exciting one, I'm sure. Speaking well, when we have Mercury retrogrades in earth signs, speaks well to finances and elements of practicality. So, and we have an earth card coming out first. Beautiful card of creativity and leveraging past experiences into future opportunities. It's a good, actually, a really important energy to have, because I think our shift is going to move from love with the Venus retrograde into the more practical elements of life, finances, career, things that, detach us emotionally and move us into more productive avenues, okay? And this is really about good communication. So you might actually have kind of an opposite, and I may contradict myself with more cards, but you may actually have or the ability to harness the positive attributes of a Mercury retrograde, which is more about progress. Even though things may work against you, you can still put your head down and focus and do goals, little goals along the way. That's a beautiful card to lay down. What's challenging you is the Hanged Man in reverse. Hanged Man in reverse can be extreme delays. So there's the working against you, right? You have so much ideas, so many creativities. This might be a really great month for you to just plan, okay? And brainstorm and talk about with yourself or people around you and work or whatever, and talk about what's next, but maybe not the best month to execute. All right, so maybe, like I say, baby steps, one thing at a time, because I don't think that things are going to come through. That's the challenge, things not formulating. And it can get frustrating, 30 days or 45 days or however long a Mercury retrograde is, it's a long time. And it sucks and it's hard to go that long with things not really coming through. So just lean into it, just kind of expect it. And expect that with things not coming in, your plans will adjust. And, because your plans today in 2 weeks could be different. So allow for flexibility and changes within your own future forward-looking self, okay? Allow those things to change and just embrace them. And if it changes, great. Then you get to change your plan. Don't plan on executing, though. Knight of Cups in the reversal. This is a story of inward focus and really, I'm going to say some negative things. It could be someone else in your life, maybe a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. It doesn't have to be, it also doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be anyone, a friend, family member, co-worker. But and I will say the negative parts of this, okay? It's hedonistic, narcissistic, self-absorbed. And what's interesting is that this person could be the driver for you craving change, creating frustration that change isn't happening, but still propelling you in a very positive direction. And you're maintaining your optimism, which is great, I think, with the Three of Pentacles. And you're allowing for the creativity to flow, all right? This person may be the driver for that. They may be the ones pushing you forward. The Page of Wands. So this is about action, but action may be behind you. You may have already been taking steps. You may have already been planning, and you may have already kind of started along the way. That's great. Super awesome for you for kind of being maybe not so victim of this Venus retrograde that we're in right now. Good for you for doing that. But expect hiatus and expect stalls, and it's fine. You're already kind of charging forward and trying to power through. Just keep your head up. Don't allow frustrating circumstances to dictate how you feel about yourself, or to allow you to feel like a failure of any kind, because you're not. You're merely a victim, just like the rest of us, of all these things happening in the sky. So it's going to be fine, and there will be a flood of energy or a backwind behind you eventually. It just probably won't feel like that this month. And the Hermit. I just did the Aries reading. They got the Hermit as well. And I think that is actually, it may be a theme. I'm not sure yet. But it could be a theme of this moment of hiatus really, really getting us to consider the big picture of life. Because things aren't happening. Things aren't occurring. But it's for a reason, right? Like, we need this sort of cluster in our life to just kind of feel like we're kind of walking around aimlessly, or to have like all these options but not knowing what to do with them, or all this stuff. But it will help. Actually, it's like the confusion helps with gaining clarity eventually, not immediately, but eventually. And that clarity is what we seek. And it is that star in the lantern, that guide, that goal, that ambition that will present itself. All right, eventually the smoke will clear and you will see where it is you are supposed to go. So don't lose hope, because that star is these stars, these goals, these things that you're meant to do. And I think it will align with what it is you kind of are hoping for your life, kind of thing, in kind of a big way. And the Knight of Pentacles. This is kind of an interesting mirror image, very opposite. This person being very dutiful, very slow. Now this person may have been, I'm sensing this is another person, not you. This person may be driving you into this new direction, but yet you are moving forward in this new direction quite cautiously, like I said, or being almost forced to move cautiously because things aren't really happening. Cautious means maybe not slowly, not cautiously, but slowly. And not without consideration, right? You're not just moving forward without purpose. This knight doesn't just go like the Knight of Swords, right? This Knight of Swords will just charge, move, go without consideration of stuff. This one maybe considers too much. It's kind of the opposite extreme. You kind of overthink, but right now overthinking is forced. It's forced upon you, and it's okay. Overthink, just let it happen, just let it wash over you, because as you're overthinking and you're kind of at a standstill, like I said, slowly that single star, the guide, even he's got a star in his hand, guiding him, leading him, it will present itself. So don't stress. Don't feel overwhelmed, just lean into it, let it happen. Kind of how you see it, stability, stable, you're strategizing. That's the essence of what we're about to go through. This is a great time for planning and figuring it out. It's a great time for even consulting people that you respect and just talking it out, making sense of it in your mind. Whatever it is, whether it's a career change, whether you want to move, whether there's a big purchase you want to make, maybe there's someone you need to get out of your life, maybe there's a spiritual hang-up that you're having, or maybe there's issues from the past that you're trying to move away from. You know, whatever it is, consult with someone that you respect and maybe who has been through the same thing. Just like, it's about examination of direction, examination of moving forward. Let your creativity take hold of you right now. Okay? You will feel trapped. You will feel like you are not moving. You will feel stuck, suffocated, frustrated. Like I said, there's the positive and the negative. You have the ability now to really tap into the positive of what's going on in April. You have it, but it doesn't mean you're not going to feel like, because this Hanged Man speaks so clearly with the Eight of Swords. They really reinforce one another. Feeling fearful and doubtful. Am I going to make the right decision? Or is this really true? Like, again, overthinking, right? Am I really truly going to get the results that I want? Is this really going to work out? And feeling like, no, it's not right. Overthinking, but in a good way, because it's like, at least you're not rushing into something at a time frame, Mercury retrograde, when we're not supposed to rush stuff, and we're not supposed to like jump into contracts, sign papers, make big purchases. It's important to have all the information and do all the research, and like I say, talking it out and planning and strategizing before acting, and ensuring that it's not just something that we haphazardly jump into, but that it is in alignment with what it is we want out of our life. And the world reverse, kind of in your hopes and fears, like readiness. Are you ready? Neither good nor bad, neither a hope nor a fear, just a big question mark. Do I really think that this is the best for me? Do I really think that I'm on the right track? I don't feel ready for this new thing. I don't feel whatever. It's fine. Just let it be. How many times can I say that during your reading? Just relax. Chill out. And don't feel guilty or pressure yourself for feeling a little bit lost. Clarity will present itself, but you need to let clarity come to you. You can't force clarity upon yourself. Otherwise, it's just like a forced thing, and it's not true clarity. Clarity will come probably later when you'll regret it. You know what I mean? And here's the Knight of Swords. See how opposite, so opposite right next to one another. And this being your outcome, I don't like the communication aspect of the Knight of Swords, because I'm worried that out of frustration, out of this Eight of Swords, like the sense of being in the Eight of Swords, feeling like super bonded and like in a straitjacket, you're going to make some rash decision or do something opposite of what your stubborn self is really telling you to do. And you are Taurus, you are known for being stubborn, and now is actually a really good time to allow the stubbornness to just, to be stubborn and to be cautious, to be overthinking, to not make big movements. Just be cognizant of those urges to do something big, or those urges to say something. If someone bothers you, okay, or someone frustrates you, or if this is someone you're trying to get out of your life, like I'm sensing movement away from this person, but like you're trying to move away, but now you're like being hit by a brick wall, this Mercury thing. And I'm not saying everything is based on Mercury, okay? I don't know why it's coming out so prominently. It's just kind of, it's important, right? I think that people, it's better to preempt it, I think. But you're moving away from it, and you are hitting a brick wall, or it feels like you're hitting a brick wall. And so in order to break through that wall, that eventually will tear down anyway, but in order to break through, you're going to do something that you may regret. So just if you have that urge, just bottle it. Okay, don't do it. I do not recommend doing it. Letting things go, like water off a duck's back. Just chill. Talk to someone. Now would also be a good time for you to counsel, right? Like talk to your friends, family members, get people's opinions, and just for food for thought. You don't have to take their opinions. You don't have to do their suggestions. Just to chew on it for a while. And the Lovers, but about choice. Okay, it's about choice and thinking things through. The Lovers also does not get enough street credit for the technical aspects. It's the card of Gemini, and it's more scientifically related as well. What you're doing is you are constructing, you're designing like an architect. your future, right? So there's no need to jump and rush and push. You're in the very intricate stages of measuring and using that little circle thing, I don't know, a protractor or whatever. Like, think of an architect old school with that big table that's tilted up, and he's got all his T-square and his straight edge and all the protracting things that I used to use in geometry in like 6th grade. Think about those things and treat your life in that way. That's what you're doing. You're intricately planning and piecing together this thing. So there's no need for suddenness, right? Because you don't start building a building until you have those plans, all right? And plans are meant to change. They're meant to change based on extraneous factors, right? You have a design, you have a building, you take it to the zoning committee, and then all of a sudden it's like in the wrong zone. You got to get that rezoned, right? But that's kind of outside of the planning thing. So you kind of are at mercy of circumstances. So what do you got to do? You got to just focus on what you can control. Intricate planning, okay? Intricate planning. Yes, there's an essence of moving away from someone. Like, this really could be all because you're trying to get away from something or someone, or this has a toxic vibe to it, okay? So someone or some situation, it's emotionally driven, it's emotionally charged, okay? It's not like it's, I'm not seeing a lot of pentacles, so I'm not seeing a lot of money aspects. It is more emotionally driven. So moving away from something that no longer serves you, no longer suits you. May have been something comfortable if you're looking for a new job or moving to a new city. Like I said, planning. Make sure you research your new housing situation. Make sure you research the new company that you're thinking about going for, making sure the culture fits, making sure it's within your budget, making sure, overthink it. It'll be your best friend this month. Being sure that it's the right path for you, okay? Yes, another thing of isolation, either you felt isolated so you left, or you left and now you're feeling isolated and alone, and you don't want to make rash decisions because you feel alone or because you feel desperate. This could also be financial desperation as well, like just jumping into a new job just because you need the income, hurrying up and doing, obviously you need to pay your bills, like do what you got to do. But if you had maybe a situation where your income is no longer as significant as it was, but be cautious of where you're moving into, right? Be cautious of the I don't know why the word culture is coming to mind. The culture of a place, the culture of a company, the culture of the people around you. Like, you want to make sure that it's in line with you and in line with your life, right? Like, if you're from Birmingham, Alabama, and you want to move to Seattle, like, it's totally different, you know, and you just want to make sure that you're okay with that difference. This is a point of decision. This is a point or a moment where you're at a crossroads and you have to make a choice. Two elements of choice right next to each other. So you may be experiencing elements of choice right now. Do you have to leave? Do you need to leave? And fear of not having money, fear of not having stability, not having income. But again, the rashness of this scares me, because I think you're going to want to do it because you're going to want to take control, because you can't not have money. You can't not have income. You need to take care of your life. You need to be an adult and you need to do what you got to do, you know? So you're trying to take the reins, you're trying to control it, but I'm super, super nervous about that. So just keep that in mind. Strength and courage, and also perseverance. It's important for you to have longevity. Maybe your finances are kind of something that are affected this month, and kind of you really need to figure out, like, you really need to get your stuff together, maybe, you know, and so you try to do what you need to do, and you need to tame that beast. Like, I think that you're being led by this idea of taming the beast. But again, if you have a need for budgeting, here's the planning, here's the scientist, okay? You need to really, really figure out what it is you're spending. Why don't you have money? Why are you worried about it? Why are you in lack in some material or commercial fashion, or financial fashion? And what do you need to do to rectify it? All right, figure it out. You need to tackle the problem, not avoid it. Okay, and creative financial solutions as well. If you need to talk to a person about debt, okay, we'll figure it out. If you have taxes, this is also a sign of taxes. You know, you need to pay your taxes. How are you going to do that? Are you able to? Do you need to file an extension? Just like all that boring stuff, you just got to do it. Six of Coins reversed. Again, a lack of balance in the financial department. Just be cognizant. Now is not a time to be making big purchases, all right? So there may be some expense. I am leaning more toward that idea of taxes because it is tax day coming up very quickly. So you need to make sure that you've filed. You need to make sure that you tax day in the U.S. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm American, so I just kind of, my mind goes there. But I know that there's people watching from all over the world, but maybe there's something for you as well. But there is some form of debt or payment that must be paid. And I think that payment is coming out. So you're going to need to be extra penny pincher this month as well. And just make sure you don't overextend yourself financially. Yeah, like I said, this is the cards of things working against you. And this is the negative side of Mercury retrograde. This is the frustrating part. This is why everyone gets like worked up when this period comes. Like comes like 3 times a year. So when we're here and we're having one, it's just like nothing is easy, you know? And that's why you got to rein it in and focus on the things that you can control, like your planning and your budgeting. You know, you can't control the expense coming out. Or you paying that because maybe it's something you really have to pay. So you can't control that, but you can control how you spend. So just think of it that way and don't make any sudden movements. Ace of Swords, be really cognizant. You know, if you're thinking about entering into a contract with a new employer, a new, like I say, a home or a car, a big purchase, if you're thinking of entering into a contract of some kind, I really would recommend kind of listening to your intuition if you're feeling fearful at all. All right, if you're feeling unclear, you don't have all the information, don't do it. Again, because I think that this lack of information, this lack of clarity and understanding would come from this Knight of Swords energy, because you're feeling like this is best, but you don't really know for sure. Overthink it. Okay, find the clarity through overthinking. As contradictory and like an oxymoron as that may seem or feel, I think that that's going to be the vehicle through which you find clarity, because right now you're kind of surrounded by a lack of clarity, and so you got to really make sure you find it first. Mental rest, mental breaks, okay? Speaking very well with the Knight of Pentacles, by the way. Putting down your weapons, okay, putting down your weapons of war here, and just like meditating and relaxing, thinking, praying, you know, whatever it is, your belief system, believing in the universe or a God of some kind or whatever it is, you know, finding and really channeling that source of inspiration and just not acting rashly. How many times do I have to say it? I feel like I've repeated myself 45 times already. Sorry if you're getting bored of me saying the same thing over and over. Four of Swords I love though. Because I think that you may be getting stressed out about money. It can be a stressor for sure. Okay. And Two of Pentacles. again, weighing those options, weighing those choices, what makes the most sense. You may feel lost in a sea of indecision. It's okay. Sometimes it is better to not do something if it doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it unless you really have to do it, right? This expense, whatever this is definitely something you have to do. Like a taxes, you have to pay your taxes. So you just got to bite the bullet and do it and figure out how you can do it, how you need, So while the scales may be imbalanced temporarily, they'll even themselves back out. They always do. You may need to work hard. If you're trying to move away from someone, move away from a situation that you aren't, that doesn't fulfill you anymore, doesn't make you happy anymore, you're going to need to work hard. This is not an easy month. You do need to work hard. You're going to need to do what you got to do, to pay what you got to pay, to make the decisions that you need to make. It's all for the greater good though, right? Like the reason why you're leaving, as hard as it may be, as hard as it is to bear that burden of responsibility by yourself, this is a very lonely energy. People don't usually talk about it, but this is one man carrying quite a load, and it's hard. And I'm not saying it's not hard, and there's a lot of stuff on your to-do list, and there's a lot of things that need to be taken care of and harnessed and focused on. So that's fine. You just got to do it though. You got to do what you got to do. If you're moving away from something, and by moving away from that, it increases your burden, just take it. Just take that burden, because it's not worth you having something that is emotionally charged in your life right now. Get away from that emotional toxicity, because there are bigger and better things at play in your life. This is about career growth. It's about financial growth and stability, which you may feel a lack of stability, but you just got to bite the bullet and take care of it, and you will, and it will be fine. You have to draw on your source of strength, your source of perseverance, and your source of courage as well. It takes courage to walk away. It takes courage to bear this responsibility and to say, yes, I can do this. And the Three of Cups in the past. The fun's over. The fun's over. You gotta kind of go to work, okay? Your intuition is not going to be super in tune this month. That's why I'm saying don't necessarily I talked about your intuition here. That's why you gotta stop, drop. Stop. I was going to say stop, drop, and roll like a fire when you're in elementary school. I don't know why I was going to say that. But you got to just stop what you're doing and just really question what you're thinking and what you're feeling. Because sometimes, and I've said this before in my past readings, sometimes we confuse our hope with our intuition, because it's well, I feel like this is something that I want to buy. Okay, I feel like it's time for me to buy a new car. But you're hopeful that you can have that new car, or intuitively you think my old car is about to break down. It's really time for me to have something reliable. Or do you just hope that this purchase is going to be a good choice, right? And so you kind of have that confusion of, is this intuitively or is this my hope speaking? Your hope is not going to be clear, okay? You're not really sure what you're thinking. You're not really sure what you're feeling. So just question your thoughts, question the words you want to say, question the actions you want to take. And like I said, maybe I feel like this is someone, likely a man of your senior, okay, maybe someone older, a father or a colleague or a mentor of some kind, some type of leader in your life who will have appropriate advice for you, who's been there and who understands, all right? So likely they will advise you to just think about it and wait for that clarity to come. Emotional stability. there is an emotional aspect to a lot of what's happening. The Queen of Cups is a beautiful message of stability. Her stone thrown upon the sand. And I said that just in my Aries one that I just did as well. And she brings it back home. She brings everything back home, to that sense of home and that sense of belonging. In a world that can seem cruel, in a world that can seem incredibly unfair, she brings warmth, okay? And I think that your solitude will be found in the home, all right? Your sense of power will be found. Like, I don't think that going out and socializing and being and doing is really, it's not time for that. You have more important things in your life that need to be addressed. You have planning that needs to take place. You have expenses that need to be paid. You have bigger decisions at play than who you're going to hang out with tomorrow night. Now, I'm not saying I'm not saying go be a total hermit and be like totally antisocial, but it's important for you to not spend your money on those things right now. It's important for you not to worry about what other people think of you right now. It's important for you to do your own thing. And a lot of times your own thing is at home, where you have balance, okay? And where you find strength and where you feel comfortable, because right now you're kind of out of your comfort zone. I think there's a lot of things in your environment that are feeling kind of threatening a little bit, or there will be. And these threatening things can often lead to this type of decision making, the defensive decision making as opposed to the offensive decision making. So tap into your source of strength, your sense of warmth, your sense of belonging, because that is the place where your best planning can be done, okay? You can't plan with that energy. And the moon, you're obviously feeling like totally left out in the dark. It's okay, it's temporary. This is a growth opportunity for you, as cheesy as that is, a learning experience, whatever it is. It's an opportunity for you to find your own way. For some reason, I'm sensing that a lot of you are doing something all by yourself. You're feeling very alone. You're feeling very isolated, but it's real, like, and you know that it's up to you to be your own hero. Like, you need to be your own knight in shining armor, because there's no one really for you to rely upon to get you out of this situation, or to get you out of this, to help you with paying your bills or whatever. And if you're married, obviously, your partner will help. But if you have accrued a personal expense, likely your significant other is going to be like, well, you got to find a way to pay for that kind of thing, or maybe you are in it together, but you kind of maybe are taking I'm sensing leadership here for some reason, and I don't quite know why that image is coming to my mind, but I feel like you are the leader of this. Maybe it's because of the Queen of Cups, because I see her as being the ruler of the household, right? Like, she can be a professional person, but she is more the queen of the home, in my opinion. And so maybe that's why I'm seeing that more domestic side of you, having to lead yourself or lead your family in some way. And it's probably scary. Your environment, the 10 of Cups. Yeah, like, your environment is really going to do a number on you. And I know I was so positive in the beginning of the reading, and I'm sorry for the contradiction. That's kind of what happens. But stay true to that 3 of Coins. Like, be creative, talk to people, talk to financial advisors, talk to your significant other, find a way to really harness that. Like, because this is an opportunity for you to really leverage and to have something more on the other side of it. You got to go through the darkness before you find the light. Okay, so it's not like it's going to be like super easy breezy for you, and you will feel like things are out of reach, and maybe they are temporarily, but they won't be that way forever. Injustice. Maybe you are afraid of something coming down on you. Maybe you are afraid of some lawsuit or afraid of some contract falling through. You're afraid of the IRS. You're afraid of your employer. You're afraid of getting fired. You're afraid of negative stuff. But we're all afraid of negative stuff because at any given moment there could be negative stuff that occurs. This is a hope and fear. It's not a reality. It's all in your mind. All right, so that's why the mental calmness and the overthinking and the strategic side really, really needs to come out. You might intrinsically not want it to come out. You might really be fighting that energy within yourself. Don't fight it. Like, you really need to, like, force it upon yourself to do this planning. Super, super important to avoid whatever it is you're afraid of, to avoid whatever this injustice is in your life. Can you see all these cards? Hopefully you can see them. Death. Actually, a really good way to end the reading. I'm super happy I pulled death because it means it's all going to be over. It's all temporary anyway, okay? This might seem like a dramatic reading, but it's temporary. It won't last forever. Energy never does. It always shifts. The planets are always moving. The world is always spinning, and we're ever evolving around the sun. And we're ever evolving in our Milky Way. Like, nothing is ever stagnant. Please remember that. Change is the only consistency in our life. And here is that perfect reminder of that change. That you will see a new dawn, okay? Whatever darkness you're experiencing now, the moon, you will see the sun at the end of the day. There's this, where's my camera? There's the sun back there, okay? So you have the brightness of the future. And do you know what I love about this, too, is by the sun, there's those two, like, if my camera will focus, there's those two towers back there. I don't know if you can see them. The two towers are the same two towers as in this card. And up shines the sun. The sun always replaces the moon, all right? So don't worry. Just exhibit caution, all right? So this was a really intense reading for you, but I hope it brought some stuff to light, and hopefully it calmed some of your fears, because I think that you actually have a very nervous energy about you this month and very antsy. Oh, but it's going to be hard for you to really focus. So just delve in, do what you got to do, step it up, get your responsibilities in order, and everything will be okay, all right? So I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for being here, and that's it. See you next month. Bye.